Hello and welcome to the Swimming World Cup Series 2022. My name's John Mason. I am the host for the entire series, and what a pleasure it is to have you guys here joining us in Toronto. My job is, of course, to make things a little bit simpler for you and keep you up to date on what's happening throughout the entire weekend. So we're going to take a look at the point system because it can get a little bit complicated. The athletes are scored on two things: their placing in a final and their performance points. So, say they come first in a race, they will get 10 points, second place would get 8 points, third place 6 points, and so on and so forth down the list. That part's simple. We then move over to the performance points, okay? This is where it can get a little bit tricky for you guys. So the performance points are based on the FINA points. The FINA points are out of 1,000, 1,000 being the current world record. The closer an athlete gets to that, the higher their score will be. So, for example, an athlete gets 944 FINA points, that would be 9.4 performance points. That, with a first place finish, would be 19.4 points overall for that race. Now, each athlete can only take their top 3 performances from the weekend to the total score at the end of it. So an athlete may swim 5 or 6 races. Their top 3 points, their top 3 scores are going to be the only one that counts. So hopefully that's made it a little bit clearer for you. I will keep you updated as we move throughout the weekend. So keep your ears open. But for now, let's take a look at the current standings as we head into tonight's action.
And it is almost race time inside this beautiful building. It's night number 2 of the FINA Swimming World Cup, Toronto 2022. And we are ready for action. The first race in the pool will be another cracker, the women's 400-meter individual medley.
Yeah, Rob, just so excited to be here for night number 2. I think the first night started off so strong that I don't know how this one can get close, and yet I think it might. This is what I think could be compared to a World Championships final, honestly, when we're looking at the names we're going to see here to start off the women's 400 IM. But the best part is you get the depth. So we're going to be able to see more than 2 people per nation, which allows us to get more of exciting racing.
And that second race on the program there, the women's 1500, will bring us one of the stars of the sport, and that is Katie Ledecky. And every time she races, that means a record is potentially going in jeopardy, put it that way. And this first race will have many Canadians in the mix.
Yeah, and you're seeing now Nina walk in. This is her second final here at the Toronto World Cup so far.
Kristina Horska.
Kristina Horska from the Czech Republic grabbed a World Cup bronze in this event last year. She was 17th last night in the 100 individual medley.
In the United States of America, Haley Flickener.
Haley Flickener busy here so far this World Cup season. She actually just started working as a real estate agent in the Tempe, Arizona area, where she has a quite accomplished group of pro swimmers training under Bob Bowman.
Oh, interesting. There's Sydney Pickram, second in the 200 breaststroke last night, gold in the 200 IM at the Short Course World Championship last year. She'll be in contention.
Canada, Summer McIntyre.
And another one of these kids. This crowd just erupted here. Last night's 400 free champ, second fastest short course meters ever to be swum in the 400 freestyle. And this is the event she actually won the long course 2022 World Championships in.
And Bailey Anderson, the Olympian, third last week in Berlin, bronze at the 2019 Pan American Games. She'll be in contention.
And this is from Oakville, Ontario, now training as a post-grad at the University of Tennessee. She comes in with a time of 4:25.55, which was the time that won her the gold at the 2021 Short Course World Championships.
So there you see it, dominated by Canadian flags, but let's keep in mind Hailey Flickinger up there in lane number 2. She will probably challenge, but we think the middle of the pool. We have the last 2 world champions in this race. Summer McIntosh did it long course, 16-year-old, and Tessa Chapluha did it short course last year in Abu Dhabi. So Chapluha in 4, McIntosh in 3, Sydney Pickram, keep your eyes on her in lane number 6. We're underway, women's 400-meter individual medley. They'll begin with 4 laps, 100-meter butterfly.
Yeah, similar to, we saw the 100 IM yesterday, which what we call the splash and dash of each stroke. This is a lot more strategic. We're going to see different strengths across the pool. We're going to have some people make a move on the breaststroke, others on the backstroke. But someone that's going to try to get out there with their butterfly strength is McIntosh at lane 3. She was also the world champion in the 200 fly, so this is a very big strength for her.
Yeah, I'd say she's probably the best butterflyer in the field. But look at this. Hailey Flickinger is keeping right up with her in lane number 2. So it is those two, Flickinger and McIntosh, who's going to touch first here. It is McIntosh by about 1600ths of a second, and when they touch the wall next, they will switch to backstroke.
Yeah, not a huge heat for the backstrokers. A lot of these girls are either fly or breaststroke here, but it is McIntosh and Flickinger who are arguably 2 of the best 200 butterflyers in the world. So this is very expected, I would say.
Flickinger won this event last week in Berlin. Her time then was 4:30. Summer McIntosh easing ahead a little bit here in the first length of the backstroke.
Yeah, and Flickinger is a name we've seen on the international stage for a while, and I think one of the best things about her now taking, like I said, her career into real estate is that she's finding balance within the sport. So she's trying to kind of focus on those morning swims, finding a bit of passion outside the pool, and it's only actually led to really great things inside the pool.
Summer McIntosh opening up a really nice lead, a body length lead now over Hailey Flickinger. Let's see what's going on elsewhere. Up in lane number 5, Bailey Anderson. Things are going to change when they hit the breaststroke, particularly with Canadian Sydney Pickram. But it is Summer McIntosh now, a body length and a half lead as they get ready to switch to breaststroke and 4 lengths of that.
And this is one of few world junior records that Summer actually doesn't hold, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that record mark. And of course, you never know with Summer, we might have to keep an eye on the world record mark as well. The breaststrokers in the middle of the pool are going to try to start edging her out, but she's still a very strong breaststroker.
Yeah, the world record, Belmonte from Spain, 4:18.9. The world junior record seems in reach, 4:23 and a third. And Summer McIntosh has opened up a, 3 body length lead, or 4 on Hailey Flickinger. And here come the Canadians up there in lanes 5 and 6, Anderson and Pickram.
And yeah, to see how world-class Summer is, as of course you see the world record mark, but this is a field that is very competitive. So for her to have this kind of length against some of the best swimmers in the world is really telling to where she's at in her season so far.
So she probably knows she's got just 1 length left of the breaststroke, and then she will move into a very comfortable stroke for her, the freestyle. She's already won the 400 free. And it is still Summer McIntosh with this mighty lead, and in second place it is now Canadian Sydney Pickram, who was gold in the 200 IM at last year's Short Course Worlds. And so McIntosh switching now to the freestyle, 100 meters of that.
She's going to need this local crowd to get behind her here as she's pushing for both lifetime bests and those world junior record marks.
McIntosh in 3:37.50 with 2.5 lengths to go. And in second place, it is still Sydney Pickram up there in lane number 6 rather.
And Summer really bringing that white water behind her. You can see that's when you're digging deep, trying to get everything out of you possible. The kick is picking up, and she's got 25 to go.
And remember that World Junior record, 4:23.33, held by China's Ye Shi-Win, set a decade ago. Summer McIntosh trying to chase that down. She might just get it. She's got it. 4:21.49. It's a World Junior record by 2 seconds for Summer McIntosh. And in second place, Pickram, and in third place, completing the Canadian sweep, is Anderson.
Yeah, I think what's so special about that 1-2-3 on the Canadian side is there was definitely competitive contention to stop it, and they still made it happen. A world-class performance yet again by Summer McIntosh. I think we'll be talking quite a lot about her as the weekend progresses, but this is a huge personal best for her, led from start to finish, other than having Flickener in there for a bit for the butterfly. But you hear the crowd behind us erupting. That is a new World Junior record for the 16-year-old.
Almost 2 seconds faster for Summer McIntosh. Wow.
Yeah, and she is just so strong. What makes her such a strong individual medley swimmer is she doesn't really have a weakness. Arguably, her breaststroke would be her weakness, but we saw her swim the individual 200 breaststroke yesterday. So maybe that's a strategy with their coaches to just say, you know, you need a little bit more experience on the breaststroke side. We're going to see her later in the 100 backstroke having some fun with it. So really, really strong from start to finish for McIntosh. Also, not to be kind of outnoted there, but a strong swim there for Sydney Pickram as well. We haven't seen her swim the 400 as much. You mentioned her being the reigning world champion in the 200 side, but a 4:28 is good for her this time of the season.
All 3 Canadians on the podium. Go ahead, John.
Our top 3, a sweep by the Canadians in this 400 individual medley. Summer, we'll start with you. A new World Junior record, your second in 2 days. Great to swim here at home in Toronto.
Yeah, it's amazing to have all the Canadians in the stands and all my friends and family cheering me on, and it means the world to have everyone's support.
World Junior record tonight. Did you have a target on a time this evening, or was it just to come in and try to post the fastest time you could?
Yeah, coming into tonight, I didn't really know what to expect time-wise. I just wanted to put a good race down and see where that put me, and it's amazing to race amongst all these amazing girls.
Well, congratulations on another World Junior record. Sydney, an amazing breaststroke leg. You're known for your breaststroke. Was that part of your strategy coming in here tonight?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like the past couple years, there's been a lot of talk or doubt about my breaststroke, and feels pretty good to get it back and to do it in front of family and friends. And I know my cousin's here, Summer, with a beer in her hand, so feels pretty good.
And Bailey, congratulations. Third place here in the 400 AM to race here in Canada at this World Cup. Fantastic feeling.
Yeah, it's awesome, especially to be standing next to 2 other Canadians as top 3. It's great. My family's here, which I'm super excited about. I don't get to see them often, so very happy to be here racing in Toronto.
Well, congratulations. Once again, put your hands together. Your top 3, all Canada in the 400 IM.
And back-to-back podium results for Bailey Anderson. On top of them all is Summer McIntosh with that World Junior record.
Starting our night with more smiles, though. It's so special for them to talk about their family, to get to watch them compete internationally, and then maybe even you get to see them between sessions or connect with loved ones. I think it's so important in the sport to remember that they're just human beings and they're out here enjoying time with their loved ones.
Next event in the pool, women's 1,500-meter freestyle. And trust me, another record is in jeopardy here. Katie Ledecky has really never raced the 1,500 meters. She'll be chasing that. But let's look at Kate Holford out of the University of Ottawa, the 18-year-old from the Point Claire Swim Club. Canadian title in the 5K open water this year.
Liu is from Richmond Hill, Ontario, currently a freshman at Emory University in Atlanta, planning to study psychology.
Lane 7, representing Canada, Jessica Dragici.
Jessica Dragici, a 15-year-old who competed in the World Junior Open Water Championships, who was 19th in the 5K from the Club Warriors team in Kitchener-Waterloo.
And Katie, speaking of open water, she won the 10K open water at the 2022 Best Vest event in Spain. She's in her first year right now at the University of Toronto.
Canada, Natasha Frost.
From McGill University, Natasha Frost. She won the 3K at the Canadian Open Water Championships in Montreal's Olympic Basin this year.
Layla Oravsky.
And she was a finalist last night in the 400 freestyle from the Barrie Trojan Swim Club. I know she's got a lot of fans here to cheer her on.
Brazil, Beatriz Dezotti.
Beatriz Dezotti, an Olympian, the Brazilian record holder in the 1500. She was 6th at the Long Course World Championship earlier this year in Hungary.
Katie Ledecky.
And we are on world record watch tonight, and it's all because of this star in lane 4, American Katie Ledecky, now swimming pro out of the University of Florida, making her short course meters debut in this race. So really, the opportunities are endless, and her long course time, that world record sets from 2018, stands at a 15:20.48, and to put it into perspective, that short course world record is actually slower than, or right around comparable to that. So her time she's entered with now a 15:30. We expect a big drop, and a big drop means she's in world record territory.
Yeah, the top 13 fastest times ever in the long course for Katie Ledecky. She has broken 14 world records in her career, and another one is in jeopardy tonight, and she hasn't even dove in the pool yet. Ledecky, the 25-year-old, is in lane number 4, and she has 10 Olympic medals to her credit. It'll be all about pacing, won't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And you'll see at the edge of the pool there's a lap counter. So that is because this race is so long that it requires someone to count the laps for you, and that's so the swimmers can always be reminded of where they're at in their 1500, and it is a long one, 60 laps, as you can see. I think one of the things we're going to have to keep an eye on here is for Ledecky. There truly isn't like a Summer McIntosh yesterday where she was going to go neck and neck with someone. This is about her own race and strategically swimming in her own race. She will give these club swimmers a really great opportunity to get to say, go home and say, you know what, I raced against Katie Ledecky, and maybe be in the pool where she does something really special.
Well, and the good news is there's only 56 laps to go, actually.
And she looks so relaxed there, almost a full second on her world record pace, and she's doing it with ease. As you can see, she always keeps up a nice stroke rate, a good tempo. Light on the legs here, as she'll want to be. She's going to need them for that final finishing kick in the last kind of 200-300 meters. But right now, it's all about getting into her tempo. This is what she practiced so hard for. This is her race pace that she tries to set and work out day in and day out. So she's just trying to get comfortable right now.
It's the Brazilian swimmer Beatriz Dezotti, the Brazilian record holder, in second place out of lane 5. It's the 15-year-old out of the Barrie Trojan Swim Club, Layla Oravsky, who is in third place out of lane 3. But it is Katie Ledecky doing what we thought she would do, the 3-time Olympian, 19 World Championship gold medals to her credit, and a 7-time winner of the Golden Goggles Award, Brittany, for the USA's top female swimmer. But you've swum these races before.
Absolutely.
What is going through your mind?
Ooh,
if
a tough
anything?
one. A very tough one. Honestly, I think at the beginning, it's such a mental game. You have to stay within kind of a positive environment in your brain if you're going to get through 60 laps. So really just not letting that daunting number get the best of you and staying confident and being aware of your race plan. I spoke a little bit about Ledecky having to kind of get into a rhythm, and this is what she trains for, but you really have to remind yourself that you do, 10, 20 times this distance on a day or 2 days in practice. So just reminding yourselves, although this is a really tough race, that you have prepared for this. Stay confident in the training that you've done, and remember on that last 200-300 to dig deep.
My question is, how over the course of her career has she been able to be competitive over 200 meters and over 1,500 meters?
She is a phenom. Before we're talking about Summer McIntosh, all we could talk about was Katie Ledecky. And Ariane Titmus coming onto the scene just a couple years ago was the first time she had been beaten internationally in almost a decade. So I think we have to acknowledge once she came, it's hard to come on top, but once you're on top, it's harder to stay. And that's what's really impressed me the most about Ledecky, is that she has the experience, but she's had to handle so many things thrown at her, and she never backs down from a challenge. We'll see her later in the 200 freestyle tonight, and she's one of few swimmers that on the international level will swim doubles when it comes to World Championships, Olympic Games. She does not back down from a challenging schedule. She'll say, you know what, these are two of my strongest events, and I'm going to do them, and I'm going to do them well, and she does just that.
Okay, I'm going to ask a tough question, and maybe not everyone will like this question. Why wouldn't this event be the last event of tonight's program?
Honestly, I have no idea, but it's a great point. I think sometimes the distance events get a little bit forgotten as the night goes on. If you have a crowd, you want to get them excited. We just started off with a really strong race, and I think if it's at the end of the program, we might have some stragglers leave the pool. Obviously not with a name like Katie Ledecky, where she's having a conversation about a world record. As you can see on your screen, she's still under world record pace right now. So I would hope that everyone stays around, but I think in theory, when there's an event that's this long, it's easy to get up and leave your seats and lose the excitement that the energy of the stadium has presented. And so I think they try to get this out of the way in a sense of keeping everyone involved. And as you can see, Katie's, has a few people she's already doing lap number 1 on, and we're going to keep everyone in the mix throughout these 60 laps and keep them excited.
Katie Ledecky is nearing the 1/3 way of the way mark in this 1,500-meter race. And she is lapping swimmers left, right, and center. In second place, it is still Dizati from Brazil. She's about a lap down. And in third place, it is still Orofsky, the young Canadian who looks like she's going to be a real good one, 15 years of age.
Exactly. We talk about the importance of having an event like this on home soil, but what is that going to do for a 15-year-old to propel her in the right direction of her career, to be able to say, not only did I race against Katie Ledecky, but I was in the lane next to her, and to have these type of experience. Also, too, this 1500 freestyle is just newly an Olympic event on the program. So when I was growing up racing distance, we definitely did not swim the 1500 too often. I actually hold the long course Canadian record, and I've only raced it probably 3 to 4 times, which really shows you how much room for growth there was in the sport in this event. So I think seeing a full, almost 6 out of the 8 lanes in this pool are Canadian club swimmers, just getting them in and getting the experience, getting to race it, I think is crucial in terms of the growth of the sport.
And in terms of the Canadian Leila Orofsky, we'll keep an eye on the time, because the World Championship A standard is 16 minutes and 15 seconds. But it is Katie Ledecky all by herself in this event, right now sitting at 6 minutes 15 seconds. And she is past the 1/3 mark of the race. Through 650 meters, Ledecky will touch there in 6:30.25.
And she's still well under that world record mark. I think the thing for Ledecky here is it is a new event for her in the sense of short course meters, but she's very familiar with how to pace a 1500. So she swam this event long course, obviously very well. She's the world record holder. And so she'll have to pull from that experience, and then a little bit on the yard side. So she swam the mile yards before, which is a 1650. She'll just have to drop a few laps, which is great. I'm sure she'll appreciate that on the final 200-300 meters, but she's looking very strong here, actually getting farther under world record pace with each split.
Which is amazing. The world record, by the way, held by Sarah Wellbrock of Germany, set it in 2019. 15:18:01 is the time set by Wellbrock, and Ledecky about 7 or 8 seconds under world record pace, which is incredible and also kind of expected. That's how good she is, and we knew she'd be in a class of her own here.
Yeah, and some of these world records that Katie has broken in the past have actually come from meets that aren't necessarily an Olympic or World Championship. Because she has such a busy schedule, she's got to meet manage, honestly. And so her last world record was actually, one of her world records were set at an Indianapolis Grand Prix, because that's when she decided to kind of come ready to race. And the reason I say that is because it doesn't need a huge competition level like a World Championships or an Olympics for Katie to be in good form. And she is, like I mentioned, gotten a new training base. She's swimming with a lot of the men's pro group at the University of Florida. She is finally kind of getting a new groove in her pro career because she, like Summer, achieved success at such an early age. She's had to mature through the sport, and I think this year is going to be a special one for her, and this would kind of start it off on a really great foot.
So it is maybe difficult to keep track of everyone at the same time, but you can certainly see lane 4, Katie Ledecky, 8:30. She is 8 seconds, as you saw there, ahead of world record pace.
And now that they're over the halfway point, this is really where you have to stay, dig that next level into your mental and physical bank to just get as much as you can out of yourself, because your body starts to shut down. You are past the halfway point. You are hurting. You are feeling it every stroke. But like I said, if you can stay mentally in the race, it is amazing what you're able to achieve because of all the work these athletes have put in, and they've trained for this. And Katie's looking really strong, but you can see with her rhythm, breathing every 2, she's gotten into the groove within each stroke. She's stayed confident in her own race plan. And honestly, I'm pretty sure across this field, all of these athletes will be honored to, be lapped by the only Katie. I think some of them are going to get in the car on the way home and say, you know what? Maybe I didn't post a personal best time. Maybe they did. But either way, they swam next to Katie Ledecky.
Yep. Well, and here's the other fact, and you alluded to it already. In just a couple of races, she was going to be standing up again for the women's 200-meter freestyle. So I don't think, by the way she's swimming, she has that in her mind at all. But the second this race is over, she's going to hop out of the pool and go right to the warm-down pool.
Yeah, and it's one of the things I admire most about her, that she does not back down from a challenge, no matter the big names, the contenders beside her, the other people swimming the event. She is always up there, and she's going to race, and it's one of her greatest strengths. I'm honestly surprised she wasn't maybe in that 400 IM, although there was literally no turnaround, but she's also a very strong contender in that event. With the crowd starting to get back in this race, get excited, we have less than 500 meters to go here in this women's 1500 final.
Katie Ledecky is not letting off the gas pedal at all. Almost 10 seconds under Sarah Wellbrock's world record pace, which is only 3 years old. And we suspected it would happen, as we mentioned. The top 13 times ever on long course are all held by Ledecky. Dezzotti from Brazil is still sitting in second place with 19 laps to go.
And a great race that she's coming to perform here as well. We have to keep an eye on the times, because there's going to be some personal best times in this heat, as we kind of are focusing mostly on Ledecky, but there's some other great performances coming down. And we're also going to have to keep a very close eye on our lap counters, just so we know who has, 125, 225s left when it's coming down to the final touch. But great racing here all around, and like I said, what an incredible experience for these athletes to get to come out here with this crowd and get excited.
Let's watch the middle of the pool. Ledecky in 4, now more than 10 seconds under the world record split.
And it's very rare that Katie actually races in Canada, just because we haven't had too many competitions here that she's been able to attend. So extra fun for this crowd to get to witness Katie's brilliance and potentially a world record, as it's looking to shape up in her favor here tonight to start us off.
She will have 12 laps to swim when she kicks there. Katie Ledecky is on the march towards a world record here in Toronto.
And you can see she's still mostly arm heavy, and what I mean by that is she is pulling with her rhythm of the upper body. And so we're going to have to keep an eye on her legs, because they're going to really come in for her in the final 200 to 100 meters.
And that's to conserve energy, correct?
Yeah, right now she's had to stay. You can't have a very consistent kick. It's very rare to do that for a 1500. So she has a rhythm, and that's that loose kick behind her, which would help her keep up her stroke rate up the top. And then she is going to dig as deep as possible, which means just empty the tank in both the upper and lower body there in this final 200.
Less than 9 laps to go for Katie Ledecky. And she is just blowing away the world record in this event, and the crowd is appreciating it all. In second place is still Dezzotti from Brazil. In third place is the young Canadian Oravsky.
And one of my favorite parts about watching a world record performance, although, I mean, it's amazing every time, but no matter what, the local crowd gets behind that athlete. And I'm just looking across the pool deck right now, and every swimmer has Katie Breeze to their side is jumping up and down, rooting for her, and trying to see something no one's ever seen before, and that is a 1500 free at this speed.
Again, the world record, 15 minutes, 18 seconds. She is a long way under that and continues to charge. Now it'll be a 5 lengths to go when she touches here, so 125 meters left.
And you gotta wonder, does she know she's under world record pace? It's an interesting race because sometimes you feel really strong and you get the result you expect, and other times it hurts the whole way and it's still decent. So she's in the middle of training right now, probably not feeling tip-top like as she would want to be in a full taper, but she's obviously feeling good in this race and knowing she's willing to put up a really strong performance.
Katie Ledecky will have 3 lengths to go when she touches here. The crowd is starting to bring her in.
And this is music to every athlete's ears, the bell lap, which is going to be done by the official, and that's when she knows she only has a 50 left to swim.
And there's the bell lap, and there goes those legs starting to kick for Katie Ledecky. There they come. She's on the march towards a world record.
And this world record is going to be broken by quite a bit, almost 10 seconds still under world record pace. It is all the crowd and all Ledecky here with a 25 to go.
American superstar Katie Ledecky in her final length of the pool, chasing a world record. It's already gone. She's going to touch in an incredible time of 15:08.24. Almost 10 seconds off the world record. And the racers continue behind her, but Katie Ledecky in her own way celebrating this world record swim.
And she's going to sit here and relish in this feeling. Big fist pump there by Ledecky. Everyone in this building is on their feet to celebrate her. That is a race, as we got to talk about for 15 minutes, that hurts, right? That is a battle every single lap to get through it, and so she is feeling it. You can tell she left everything in the pool.
And Dazati just touched for second place. Her time 15:48.8. That is under World Championship A standard. We'll keep our eyes on Orofsky. She's still got a couple of lengths to go. Actually, she's in her final length here. Yes, she is. So Leila Orofsky, the 15-year-old, is going to touch in third place in a pretty impressive time of 16:16.80. It is just a shade above the World Championship A standard, but she gave it a run.
I'm just like, I'm almost tearful watching the young 15-year-old from Barrie Trojans going up to give Katie Ledecky a high five after breaking the world record. Not only did she just come in here, swim her first big final, she's now a medalist at a World Cup. She went a huge personal best, so her own personal mark. She's got a crowd full of fans cheering her on, local club teammates and others. And now she just got to congratulate the best distance swimmer of all time after breaking a world record in the lane next to her. Talk about inspiring.
And in fourth place, Canadian Natasha Frost just finished her race in 17:02. And then Katie Maravino, Byron McDonald's athlete at the University of Toronto, in fifth place. And young Jessica Dragici, the 15-year-old, in sixth. What a race, and Katie Ledecky stands above them all.
Yeah, normally one of the big things about the World Cup is that the athletes get presented with a world record, a check, and there's a bit of an additional monetary benefit to that. But Katie still has another race tonight, so we won't see any sort of presentations coming up. We are going to wait. She's going to go warm down. I'm sure we'll hear from Katie after her next race to hear about her thoughts on this world record. But again, she's prioritizing racing here and getting that world record flushed out of her system. If there's going to be a race you're flushing out, it's got to feel good that it's a world record performance.
Well, you said it right from the beginning. The way she races it doesn't really matter who's beside her. She has like this internal, clock that drives her on, it seems.
Yeah, and you have to kind of get into that rhythm. She would know based on her practices. She would know what the speed feels like that she wants to hit. But like I said, every time you dive in, you don't know if that's going to feel the way you want it to feel. So great to see her coming here to Toronto. First ever short course meter, 1500. And we have our first world record here of the Toronto World Cup.
Of course, there was a race earlier today, so it was a timed final. Those ones slot into place here. But it is all about Katie Ledecky and a whole lot of athletes who get a great experience of being in the pool in that world record. Next event in the pool, the men's 50-meter backstroke.
Lane
There
1
is
representing
Hong Kong,
Canada,
China's Lao
Javier
Shih-Yu,
Acevedo.
10 years on the national team.
Javier Acevedo, he's here having so much fun. He's finding his love again for the sport, racing in his home pool, coming off a silver medal last night in the 200 back.
Lane 7 representing Trinidad and Tobago, Dylan
From Trinidad and
Carter.
Tobago, yes, Dylan Carter, the two-time Olympian, won this event in Berlin last week. Also the 50 free, also the 50 fly, and he won the 50 free last night.
Lane 2
Keep an eye on lane 7.
representing Japan, Takeshi Kawamoto.
Yeah, one of the Japanese national team members. He was 5th place last night in the 100 fly.
Lane 6 representing
From the Czech Republic, in lane number 6 is Tomáš Franta. He was 4th in the 200 backstroke last night. The 24-year-old will be racing out of lane
3
6.
representing the United States of America, Justin Ress.
Justin Ress, the first of 2 Americans in this field in the center of the pool. He was 5th last night in the 50 freestyle.
Lane 5 representing the United States
Also from
of
USA,
America,
Coleman Stewart, 24 years of age, world record holder in the 100 back at 48.33. This is half the distance. Swims for the Cali Condors in the ISL.
And here's Casper. He's crashing with Acevedo this weekend, as Javi told us earlier in an interview yesterday. He's the 100 back NCAA champion from 2022, swimming for the NC State Wolfpack, and he was also 3rd last night, as I mentioned, in the 200-meter backstroke.
So Stukowski at the fastest heat this morning, won heat number 2 in 23.30. Coleman Stewart beside him was just 0.05 slower. The 2 Americans are certainly going to challenge Stukowski. Let's keep our eyes on Dylan Carter as well in lane number 7.
It's quite an experienced field. It's an event that, it can really go any way. So it's about the start having to be really strong, a lot of power off the blocks for these backstrokers. And then a really important timing into the turn is going to be crucial.
World record in this event held by Florent Manadou from France. 22.22. 2 lengths to the pool. Men's 50-meter backstroke underway. World long course champion Justin Ress is in lane 3. Stukowski 4, Stewart 5.
And we can't count out Dylan Carter whatsoever. He won this event just a week ago in Berlin with a time of 23.15.
And Carter is going to come up out of the water in contention, in the lead, in fact, up there in lane 7. Carter is racing to the wall. Will he get there? Yes, he gets there first, then Stukowski, and then Ress. What a race by Dylan Carter. He is on fire.
Big fist bump for the crowd there. He knows they're excited after that world record performance, so now he's just kind of putting on a show. But that's another win for Dylan Carter. We saw him win already here last night, and he still has another race to go tonight in the 100-meter freestyle. So he might also miss that interview. We'll see after, but I think that's a great start to his evening so far, and another put in contention for that overall standings.
Well, he talked about the motivation after just missing the medals with 4th place finishes at both World Championship and Commonwealth Games, but leaving no room for error here. Only athlete under 23 seconds. Dylan Carter wins the 50 back for the second straight week. If he wins it again next week in Indianapolis, he gets a nice little chunk of change.
Yeah, and that was 2/10 faster than he was just a week ago. So in a 50, that's a pretty big drop.
Toronto, we're going to grab an interview with our winner, Dylan Carter, Trinidad and Tobago. You won this in Berlin. You've won it in Toronto. There's still a chance for an extra $10K if you win it in Indianapolis.
Hey man, one step at a time. We still have the 50 fly tomorrow and the 100 free tonight, so we'll think about that in Indy.
How's it been racing here in Toronto so far over the last day and a half?
Great fun, great competitors, so really, really good.
Congratulations to our top 3 in the men's 50 backstroke here at the Swimming World Cup Toronto.
Impressive result, and nice little celly by Dylan Carter. It says, shh, don't tell anyone.
No one knew I was out here in lane 7, except for the fact that he won last week. That was the only little giveaway there. But as he mentions, I like the way he put that. One race at a time. I have to think about what I'm here to do, and then I still have another performance here tonight, so we'll keep an eye out for him in the 100 free for sure.
Next event in the pool, women's 200-meter freestyle. And if you can believe it, we expect Katie Ledecky to be in this race. Let's see if she comes out shortly. Here is Giovanni Dominique Diametti from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Just missed the podium in the 100 butterfly last night. She was 4th behind Catherine Savard.
Canada, Mary Sophie Harvey.
And this is the event that got her onto the Canadian Olympic team. So Mary Sophie Harvey was on the Tokyo Olympic team. She swam the preliminary in the 4x200 freestyle relay for the team that later finished 4th.
Speaking of Catherine Savard, there she is, the 3-time Olympian out of Pointe Rouge, Quebec, lives in Montreal. 4 medals at the short course worlds last year.
Ella Jansen.
This is a real up-and-coming Canadian talent. Now training at this pool every day with the Toronto National Training Center. She just turned 17 years old.
United States of America, Kelly Pash.
Good meet so far for Kelly Pash, the 15-time All-American at the University of Texas, 21 years of age, from Carmel, Indiana.
Hong Kong, China, Siobhan Haughey.
And Siobhan is Hong Kong's first world record holder ever in swimming. And her world record was broken at the 2021 Short Course World Championships in this event.
Katie Ledecky.
And wow, game face is on for Katie Ledecky, the ESPY Award winner in 2022 for her 4-medal haul in Tokyo last year.
Madison Wilson.
And Maddie Wilson holds 2 long course relay world records as a crucial member of many Australian freestyle relay teams. She's actually also the owner and creator of a clothing label alongside a fellow Olympic swimmer, Meg Harris. So also passionate about fashion.
This feels like a really good race. Ledecky in 5, Wilson in 4, Haughey, the world record holder in this event, in 3. And of course, the other 2 swimmers, Wilson and Haughey, aware of the fact that Ledecky just raced moments ago, it seems. There is Katie Ledecky, 2nd Summer McIntosh in the 400 free last night. But as you saw moments ago, world record in the 1500. Women's 200-meter freestyle, 8 lengths of the pool. Maddie Wilson in lane 4 was part of the Aussie sweep in the 200 free at the Commonwealth Games this year.
Well, the one good thing we know about Ledecky is she's warmed up, so it won't take her too long to get in the mix, but you see these other girls that are fresh are going to try to take off. Siobhan Haughey, as you mentioned, she is the world record holder. Her best time, 150.31. She was 3rd last night, a little bit off her best in the 400, but she did win this event a week ago in Berlin.
And she is charging to the lead. Siobhan Haughey, the 24-year-old who celebrates her birthday on Monday, would like to do it with a win. You got to know that. And she won last week in Berlin. She has got a body length lead already on Maddie Wilson from Australia.
She is so strong in this race. Short course really suits her as well. She swam short course yards at the University of Michigan, and now we see she's a little bit under her world record mark at the halfway point.
Siobhan Haughey is chasing down another. Could we really have another?
I honestly wouldn't have guessed it after yesterday. She did look like she was struggling, but honestly, it is a big deal to be able to be good at a 200 and a 400, so maybe her 200 just feels like in the groove right now.
Siobhan Haughey still ahead of world record pace. She's got 50 meters to go in 1:22.32.
And here comes Ledecky as well, just getting extra gears out of I have no idea where, but she's going to try to get on the podium here tonight as well.
Less than a length to go for Siobhan Haughey, trying to chase down a world record. The world record is her own. It's 1:50.31. Siobhan Haughey chasing to the wall. Here comes Ledecky looking for second. Haughey in 1:50.113, just off her world record. Ledecky is second, and Wilson comes in third place.
Big smiles there for Siobhan. I think after last night's win, or third place, sorry, she really wanted a win tonight, and it's nice to see her excited and happy about the race. I am so impressed there with Katie Ledecky. Second place, yes, and we just saw her on top, but it was, less than 15, 20 minutes ago where she swam at 1,500 free, which is 60 laps of this pool. And the craziest part was she came on in the last 100. The last 50 was her strongest of them all. So that really shows she's in a strong place with training. This is a great rehearsal for her to have to stand up on international stages with multiple events. And she just flipped over the pool, the lane line onto her back. She has left it all in this pool for the Toronto crowd, and they should be honored to see what they witness here tonight.
Great performance all the way around. Siobhan Haughey took a shot at her own world record, was just off that, but she wins. Katie Ledecky warming down from her 1,500 with a second place finish in 1:52.3, and then Maddie Wilson in an impressive 1:53.5 seconds in third place. Siobhan Haughey, the winner in Toronto for the second straight time in the 200 freestyle.
What a race in the women's 200 freestyle. Siobhan Haughey, the winner here tonight. You won it in Berlin as well. Out under world record pace to the 100. Was that part of your strategy tonight?
I'm just trying to, just try my best and see what happens. And I'm happy that my time was faster than in Berlin. Hopefully I can just keep getting better.
Well, congratulations on the win. Maddie, we're going to jump to you. Third place here in the 200 freestyle. A great race here in Toronto.
Yeah, I feel like I can't even talk about me after that. I mean, Katie, absolutely amazing, and what a privilege to be in there next to her tonight.
Congratulations. And Katie Ledecky, second place here. What a double here tonight. The 1,500 freestyle. A check for $10,000 for her world record in the 1,500 freestyle. I bet your arms are a bit tired. I can hold on to that for you if you want. Katie, congratulations on a great double here tonight. Was your plan to come in here? You don't swim short course meters that often, so to come in and set that 1,500 world record here this evening.
That was my first time swimming that race, so I had no idea what to expect. I kind of had it in my sights as a possibility, but I wasn't going to be disappointed if I didn't get it. That was a fantastic record by Sarah. I love Sarah. She's a great person, and I just wanted to put together the best swim that I could, and I'm happy that with all that pain, it paid off.
A lot of turns in that short course 1,500 free. Now, you come out of the pool, you got about 10 minutes to get ready for the 200. What do you do to mentally focus for your next race?
I swam a few laps in the diving well, and I just tried to remind myself that we do this in training all the time. So shout out to all my friends in Gainesville, my coach Nesty, and everyone at Florida. I couldn't do it without you, and I was very prepared for that, and I knew that I could do it.
Well, Toronto, how about you put your hands together one more time for your winner, Siobhan Haughey, and the winner and world record holder in the 1,500 freestyle, Katie Ledecky.
Yeah, and I love how she sent a special ode to her teammates, because no athlete does this alone, and she has so many great training partners that are pushing her every day. So kudos to the team in Gainesville, and I hope they're getting better luck on the football field as we speak.
Next event in the pool, men's 200-meter individual medley. Always nice to see Ryan Lochte's name there. Deo Sato as well. Neither of those in this race, but their records will be, well, up there to be chased down. From Italy, Alberto Rossetti in lane number 8, the bronze medalist in this event at last year's Short Course World Championships in Abu Dhabi.
And this is one of many Brazilian national team members here in Toronto. He's the 2019 Pan Am Games
Lane
medalist in this
7,
event.
representing Lithuania, Danis Rapsis.
Lithuanian Danis Rapsis, third last week in this event in Berlin, third last night in the 400
Lane
freestyle.
2,
Look for him to try to hunt
representing
down the podium.
United States of America, Kieran Smith.
Yeah, we typically see this national teamer from the U.S. runner-up last night in the 400 free, so mostly in the distance freestyle events, but it was Sates that beat him, and he's going to get to race him again tonight.
From Okotoks, Alberta, 21-year-old Finley Knox, the 6'4" swimmer, Olympian, fourth in the 200 IM at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham this past summer.
Trenton is a 3-time medalist as a member of Team USA Relays at the 2021 Short Course World Championships, and he came 16th in this event at the Long Course Worlds from 2022 earlier this year.
The aforementioned Matthew Sates, third in the 100 IM last night, and also winning the 400-meter free. And he won last week this event in Berlin. He'll use all 4 strokes here.
Shane Cassis.
So he's been absolutely lighting up the short course stage throughout this World Cup circuit. Phenomenal performances by Cassis. He won the Tour back last night, so we'll have to keep an eye on his second leg, especially strong in the front half, so the fly back, and the rest of the field is going to try to catch him on that breaststroke and freestyle.
So already 2 wins in Toronto for Shane Cassis. He'll try to double the distance. Last night he won the 100 IM. As we see Matthew Sates, the 19-year-old who leads in the standings. He and Cassis are 1 and 2. Cassis will race out of lane 4. Sates out of 5, right there in the middle of the pool in those 2 yellow lanes. Short course world record held by Ryan Lochte, set it in Istanbul 10 years ago, 1:49.63. That is wicked fast. Shane Cassis is in lane number 4. He won last week in 1:51.6. The athletes will start with 2 laps of butterfly.
Cassis looking very strong here. Like I said, he's going to try to get the largest lead possible in the fly back, and then we have some other rest of the fielders that are going to try to catch him on that breaststroke.
So Shane Cassis is going to touch and then switch to the backstroke for 2 lengths. And he's got the lead, comes out of the water, and beside him in lane number 3 is his American teammate, Trenton Julian, and on the other side is Matthew Sates. But it is all Cassis.
Yeah, he's still got about a body length on the rest of the field. Matthew Sates, though, we know he has a distance background, and we also know he's a strong 100 IMer, so we're going to have to keep an eye on him in the second half.
Kieran Smith looking good as well in lane number 2. In fact, he has moved close to second place here, but it is Shane Cassis now in the breaststroke with 25 meters of breaststroke to go.
And he's looking so strong. I don't think anyone's gaining any field there. Here, he actually didn't swim this event in the Berlin World Cup a week ago, so you've got to think he's going to try to put himself on the map in this event.
Shane Cassis touches now for 50 meters of freestyle. He's got a 2 body length lead, and trying to chase him down is Matthew Sates and Trenton Julian, and maybe even Finley Knox over there in lane 6, the Canadian.
Yeah, Finley Knox, if he can have a great last 25, the crowd will get pretty excited in this group.
It is Shane Cassis in lane number 4, trying to better his time last week of 1:51.6. So yes, a World Cup record. And in second place, it is Finley Knox. Finley Knox takes second place, the Canadian, in 1:52.75, and Trenton Julian third in 1:52.81. But it is Shane Cassis in that blazing fast time.
That was an amazing battle for the podium there. Finley Knox could have been second, he could have been fourth. That second to fourth was within just over a tenth of a second So it was a very, very tight finish, and that's when it's so much more important for those small details like we talk about. And here we see leading start to finish, it was Shane Cassis, a very strong butterfly. And then in the backstroke, he has to use that as his strength, obviously, as he is mostly known for being a 200 and 100 backstroker. But it's also the point in the IM where you try to get in as much air and oxygen so you can get through that second half of the race. Breaststroke, actually, I was very pleasantly surprised. Beautiful technique, moving through the water very well, and then it's just digging as deep as possible on that freestyle coming home. He kept his head down, coming into the touch. He's got to be happy with that time, a new World Cup record.
And just over half a second off of Ryan Lochte's world record as well, so pretty impressive. Maybe he'll be trying to hunt that one down in Australia at the Short Course World Championship in December.
Yeah, that'll be a great chance for him actually to get close. As you mentioned, that record is actually a decade old. So it would really be cool to slowly watch some of those legends kind of be erased from the record books.
Shane Cassis on top in Toronto.
A World Cup record here in the 200 individual medley. Shane, congratulations, 19.8 World Cup points to add to your total here in Toronto.
Awesome. Yeah, my head hurts. That really hurt.
Were you taking that World Cup record here tonight?
I mean, I just wanted to go fast. The records don't really matter to me.
It was set 1 year ago today, so it's another record here on October 29th.
I'm sorry, yeah.
Congratulations, Shane. Finlay Knox charging home on that last 25 to claim second spot. Great to race in front of a home crowd.
Yeah, I mean, thank you to everyone that came out to support the Canadians. It's amazing to have a crowd like this.
Well, congratulations. Then Trenton, Julian, you got a busy schedule tonight. We got another 200 fly, I think, coming up for you. Congratulations on your third place. Good swim for you. Good time?
Yeah, great time. I haven't really swum this very much, so anytime I kind of dip down a little bit more is better and better.
Well, congratulations to all three in the men's 200 individual medley.
And you see Finlay waving to the crowd. This is his home pool. I've said it about a few swimmers, but I think it's just so important to mention because they're not only used to swimming up and down these same lanes, but they understand the facility. They know the crowds. They get excited about the little things, and you could see them just relishing in every moment getting to race here.
Next event in the pool, women's 100-meter backstroke. There you see the world record. Mina Atherton from Australia set it back in 2019.
Sophie Harvey.
Canadian Mary Sophie Harvey, the Canadian Olympian, was 6th in the 100 backstroke at this year's Commonwealth Games in Birmingham.
Representing Canada, Summer McIntosh.
Well, this is a treat for the crowd. Here we are being reminded that she is only 16 years old and she should get to do all these fun events. And so it's great to see her doing something we're not necessarily used to watching her see.
From Richmond, BC, and the Rapid Club, Danielle Hanos, Canada's University Swimmer of the Year in 2022.
Ingrid Ville.
And Ingrid was the third of 3 Canadians to reach the podium in the 50 back last night. She was also third to Mass and Vida Nelson last week in the Berlin World Cup.
Vida Nelson swims for the Cali Condors in the ISL. She won in Berlin last week in this event.
Lane 3.
Just about a third of a second ahead of Canadian Kylie Maas.
And Hansen, I got to meet her dad earlier tonight, which is fun. So he's an age group coach, understands the sport very well. She represented this great city on the ISL stage for multiple seasons.
There's the medal machine at Kylie Maas. Silver in Tokyo, silver in Budapest, silver at last year's Short Course Worlds and at Commonwealth Games, all in this event.
So you can see some tape on Kira's finger. She actually broke her finger a few weeks ago and then posted on social media earlier today that she was getting an x-ray done to see if it was re-broken, but it looks like she's here racing tonight. Hopefully that means it was good news, no break. Her performance this morning actually qualified her for the Netherlands Short Course Worlds team, so I know she wanted to get out and have a strong swim in the morning, but it's great to see kind of these rehearsals for the swimmers to have strong prelim swims and then also strong final swims. You can see that tape there in the close-up, but hopefully no further. She obviously wouldn't be racing if she was worried about re-breaking it, so hopefully got some good news this afternoon and is ready to race against a very world-class final here tonight in Toronto.
So Maas in 5, Toussaint in 4, holds many Dutch and even European records. Both in their mid to late 20s. This It's a veteran field other than Summer McIntosh, the 16-year-old in lane 1. Women's 100-meter backstroke, 4 lengths of the pool.
Ingrid Wilm using her height to her advantage here. She'll be swimming out of lane 2 in the red suit, but great start. She stands over 6 feet tall and has to get out there if she wants to stay in this mix.
In lane 6, keep an eye on Beta Nielsen's underwater. She stays underwater for so long, and she comes out in the lead. Nielsen touching halfway through in 27:03, and she'll do it again. She stays under and under and under.
And that's what makes her such a great short course swimmer. Kylie, as you can tell, throughout the length is swimming faster than her, but Beta gets her on every turn.
And now into the final 25 meters of this 100-meter backstroke. Kylie Moss comes out again behind Beta Nielsen. Nielsen trying to hold on to this lead and take the win. And she is going to do it. It is Nielsen and then Moss and then another Canadian, Wilm, on the podium again. This is a duplicate of last week in Berlin. Nielsen, Moss, and Wilm, 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, well, we talk about consistency. It's great to see, repeated performances, but also for them to have to challenge each other and still get into those world-class times. 55.8 there for the winner, Beta Nielsen. You mentioned how important her underwaters are, but it's also that second 50 that's really impressive for Beta. That's where she beat the girls last week and got ahead of our 2 Canadian duos. Kylie was actually first at the 50 last week, and today it was a very close call, but I would say that's one of her strengths, and something Kylie is really, really strong at is the actual, the rest of the 20 meters. Well, give it 15 when you're going underwater like Beta Nielsen is, but you can see Kylie reeling her in that final touch, but Beta does these underwaters so well that she's able to come up on top, and big smile there for her, a little fist bump. She's excited about that time, and also those points, I'm sure, towards the total.
Kira Toussaint finishes in 5th place. She was about a second slower, almost a second slower than she was earlier, so maybe that in her mind. But Beta Nielsen, the best, 55.75, and then joined on the podium by 2 Canadians, Kylie Moss, the medal machine, and Ingrid Wilm.
What a race there tonight in the women's 100 backstroke. Beta Nielsen, you won in Berlin. You win here tonight and improve on your time getting under that 56 mark. You had a target here tonight for 56, or was it just about getting your hand on the wall first?
Really just about racing. This is a great environment to do so. I'm surrounded by some of the fastest in the world, and just trying to get my hand on the wall first is the goal always. So.
You happy with that time, 55.75 at this point in the season?
Yeah, it's pretty close to my best time. I think it might be my best time, so keep swimming around there and I'll be happy for sure.
Congratulations, Kylie. Again, another top 3 finish here at the World Cup in Toronto. Your home pool for the last couple of years. Must be pretty special to race in front of the home crowd.
Yeah, it's super special. I feel like I just walk in and have so much happiness and joy seeing so many people and so many familiar faces. So it's really special to have this here right now.
Congratulations. And Ingrid, another top 3 spot for you here, 100 backstroke. Are you happy with that time here tonight?
Of course I am. Every chance to race these girls is a special event, and words are not coming to me right now, so yeah, I'm happy.
Congratulations to all 3, but Beta Nielsen, your winner here tonight in the 100 backstroke.
Again, great camaraderie among the backstrokers, as there is among all the swimmers, it seems.
Yep, big smiles there for those 2. They're used to swimming neck and neck, challenging each other every single day, so it's awesome to see the joy after kind of having to go. It's a competitor but also a friend, and it's a really tough dynamic, but one that looks like they're doing really well at mastering.
Next event in the pool, men's 50-meter breaststroke.
Lane 8, representing
and
Canada,
out of lane 8, Luca Cianducci, out of the Windsor area. NCAA at the University of Findlay in Ohio. Got to better his 27:20 that he did this morning.
Chow Man Ho.
And Chow Man is actually nicknamed the Frog King of Macau because frog style is the literal Chinese translation of breaststroke.
Representing Lithuania,
That's awesome.
Andrius Sidlauskas.
Sedlauskas was a world junior champion back in 2015 in this event. He's 25 now. He won his heat earlier today. Bronze at the European Championships this year in the 100 breaststroke.
Whitley.
And Reese stands at 6'9" tall. I don't think I really understood how tall that was until I just walked beside him on the pool deck. Towering over you, as you can see on his jacket, swims for the University of California.
João Gomes Jr., 36 years young, from Vitória in Brazil. Bronze in this event at last year's short course worlds. He was disqualified in the long course worlds this year.
And Yoshiki was 4th last night in the 100 breaststroke, so you got to assume he'll be itching to try to get a spot on the podium here tonight at a lane 3.
Lane 5, representing Netherlands,
Dutch swimmer Casper Corbo got on the podium last night with a strong finish in his 100-meter breaststroke. We'll see how he does here at half the distance. Second fastest qualifier.
Nick Fink.
Nick Fink, a teammate of mine at the University of Georgia. He wants this crowd excited. I do have to mention, yesterday I said he was a PhD student. He's actually a master's student, but he said he was very happy if I wanted to give him the PhD. So there you go. He's studying mechanical engineering at Georgia Tech University. He's a short course world champion in this event, setting an American record in doing so. So the time we have to keep an eye on, 25:53. This is an athlete, you know, he's so matured throughout his career. He's mastering the balance of school and swimming. And he said, you know what, I'm going to keep swimming as long as I'm still having fun. And it looks like he's out here having a great time.
Nick Fink will be challenged by Casper Corbo, the Dutch athlete. Fink in 4, won last week in Berlin in this event, won last night in the 100 breast. Men's 50-meter breaststroke, just 2 lengths of the pool, middle of the pool. Nick Fink in 4, Casper Corbo in 5. Keep your eye on Whitley in 2.
And Fink looking very strong. He was about a half a second ahead of anyone else this morning in the prelims.
Splits in 11.7. Nick Fink is in good shape, but the field is coming. But it is Fink leading with the wall there, and he touches first in 25.78. In second place, Corbo, and in third place, Gomes Jr.
And he's happy with that time, a little bit faster than what he was last week in Berlin, a little bit faster than what he was this morning, and then a little bit slower than his personal best. But honestly, that came at a World Championships where you're fully tapered and rested. So he'll keep an eye on those short course worlds coming up in Australia and hope to improve upon that performance. But very strong there for Fink. And like I said, just so great seeing the smile on his face. He is really enjoying racing right now, and this World Cup circuit was very much built for the strength that he has in breaststroke and across some other IMs if he ever chooses to swim them. I think he could be a decent 100 IM or two. Nick, if you're out there listening, which you're not because you're at the pool, I think you should take up the 100 IM because you'd have fun with it.
And on the left of your screen there, you see touching third, Gomes Jr., the 36-year-old. It's still young. He's still young, Brittany.
He's so young. He's still improving. Like I said, the one thing that's so special about these swimmers that are a bit older is they're gaining valuable experience, but also fine-tuning what it takes to make them fast.
Standing by with our top 3 now in the men's 50 breaststroke. Nick Fink, the winner tonight. You won last night in the 100, another win here, and we're heading to Indy as you've won both breaststrokes.
Yeah, no, taking it one race at a time. The fans here have been great so far this stop, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
What do we got coming up tomorrow?
2 breasts.
200 breasts. Nick, congratulations. Casper, second place, once again, second in the 100. You happy with the time?
I mean, yeah, I don't swim short course meters too often, so going into this open-minded and, yeah, happy with the result.
And learning something probably every time you hit the water in short course on how to improve.
Absolutely. The turns especially. It's a little bit longer, so got to pay attention to that.
Congratulations. João Gomes Jr., congratulations. Third place here in the 50 breast. Are you enjoying your time in Toronto?
Thank you. Thank you, Canadá. Obrigado, Esporte Clube Pinheiros, aí, pela oportunidade de trazer a gente para essa competição.
Congratulations and thank you, gentlemen. Top 3 in the men's 50 breaststroke.
So Fink, Corbo, and Gomes Jr., but Nick Fink on top again. He'll try to get the sweep next week in Indianapolis. Next event in the pool, women's women's 50-meter butterfly with some stars here, including Canadian Maggie McNeil, who will be in the middle of the pool.
Lane 8.
And we begin with lane 8, Canadian Catherine Savard, the 29-year-old who was third in the 200 butterfly last night and raced earlier tonight as well.
Lane 1, representing the United States of America, Linnea Mack.
And this is another one of our American pro swimmers here in Toronto. She was 8th in the 50 back last night from San Jose, California.
From Poland, Katarzyna Wasik, the 30-year-old, won the 50 free last night. She was second in her heat earlier today against Beryl Castadello.
Lane 2, representing Australia, Holly Barrett.
And we just mentioned how age is nothing but a number, but she's the oldest in this field, 34 years of age, from Australia. She was second place last week at the Berlin Stop in the 50 fly.
Erica Brown.
24-year-old Erica Brown, bronze in the 50 free at the World Championships in Budapest earlier this year.
Representing Japan, Ai Soma.
Ai Soma, 24-year-old Japanese national teamer. She competed in this event at the 2018 World Championships in Hangzhou, China.
Lane 5, representing France.
From France, Beryl Castadello won this event in Berlin last week. She won her heat earlier today in 25:61. We'll keep an eye on lane 5.
Representing Canada, Maggie McNeil.
And there goes the crowd. Olympic and world champion in the 100 fly. She's recently moved training locations, now living in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at LSU University, training under her coach, Rick Bishop. Moved over from, that was her coach when she was at the University of Michigan. She came over with him. So now she's kind of finishing that NCAA career and making the most of what she has in store there in Baton Rouge,
where it's just as hot and humid outside of the pool as it is inside the pool.
Absolutely.
There is Maggie McNeil, won the 50 back and was second in the 50 free last night. She was a quarter second faster than anyone else in the heats earlier today. It's Beryl Castadello. She will try to challenge out of lane 5. Let's keep our eye on the ageless one, Holly Barrett, in lane 2. And they are off. 2 lengths of the pool is 50-meter butterfly. Who comes out first? Maggie McNeil's in good shape in lane 4.
Very strong start for Holly Barrett as well out of lane 2.
And less than a length to go now. And they come up out of the water. Maggie McNeil's got a lead. Looking for another win here in Toronto. It's going to be McNeil first. And second is Castadello. And third is Japan's Ai Soma.
That race was all Maggie McNeil. She had to have felt pretty good about that. Her butterfly looks very smooth and strong, which is great. She didn't get to swim fly yesterday. Although got the racing under her belt, it's nice to see her get to do her premier stroke. But a huge one for the crowd to get to cheer on. About a half a second lead there for the Canadian in the middle of the pool. Castadello, as you mentioned, coming in second. She was the Berlin champion just a week ago, but she didn't have to race Maggie last week. So great to see there. A great time also for Maggie. It's kind of close, getting into the range of where the world record sits. So we'll have to keep an eye out for the events like the Short Course Worlds coming up in just a few months to see if she gets closer to that world record mark.
So Maggie McNeil was in great shape in the first 25, then had a great turn and then a dynamite second half. She wins it in 24.75 seconds. Castadello second, and Soma from Japan, who won her heat earlier today, is on the podium in third place. McNeil, Castadello, and Soma are standing by momentarily here with Chris. Whenever you're ready, Chris, take it away.
Now standing by with our top 3 from that women's 50 butterfly, your winner, Maggie McNeil, with the best time and a new Canadian record here in front of the home crowd in Toronto. Congratulations, Maggie. 24:75, got to be pretty happy with that tonight.
I definitely am. I mean, 50 fly is an event I'm still trying to learn to swim, but I'm really happy with that.
Are we going to see you at the next stop in Indianapolis next week?
Unfortunately not. I have to go back to school, but I'm excited to be here for sure.
And it's been pretty exciting to race here in Toronto in front of some hometown friends, I'm sure, from London.
Yeah, it's great, and I got to see my parents, but it's always great to have Canada's support, and to actually have them in the building is amazing.
Congratulations, Beryl. 1/10 off the time you went in Berlin last week. Second place here, first there. Are you happy with your performance here tonight?
I made a huge mistake at the wall again, so my best time is 24. I take it, we'll do better next time.
Something to learn in every race that you do.
Always.
Congratulations, top three. Isoma, congratulations on your third place finish in the 50 fly.
So the high fives there, McNeil, Gastadello, and Soma, who was the silver medalist at the World University Games in 2019, is on the podium in Toronto.
There we go. Canadian record, personal best, early October, all things pointing in the right direction.
Next event in the pool, you see that record held by Kyle Chalmers. You will see Kyle Chalmers right dead center in the middle of the pool. But first we introduce Josh Liendo, bronze medalist in this event at last year's Short Course Worlds in Abu Dhabi and bronze at the World Championship this year in Budapest.
Representing Brazil, Gabriel Santos.
And Santos swam for Brazil on their 4x100 free relay at many international competitions, including the 2016 Olympic Games and the 2017 World Championships.
7, representing Brazil,
Another
Pedro
strong
Spajari.
Brazilian, Pedro Spajari, gold medalist at the Military World Games back in 2019 for this 25-year-old Brazilian swimmer.
2, representing Trinidad and Tobago, Dylan Carter.
And we've seen him already tonight. He's the last night's champion in the 50. Did not swim the 100 in Berlin, so we'll have to wait and see how he manages this distance, being twice as long as last night's race.
Josef Salchow, 23 years of age, from the German team, looking to better his time, 47.29, which is actually his personal best, set earlier today.
And Chacon is actually more known for his backstroke. He's the world record holder, but he did win the silver medal in the 4x100 freestyle relay with his national teammates in the Tokyo Games, so he's familiar with freestyle as well.
And Brooks Curry, the 21-year-old American, who is often on the relay teams for that country, and they are so strong there. He was second last night, by the way, in the 50 free.
Kyle Chalmers finished second last night in the 50. Said he was ready for this race as it's his main event. So he was chirping Dylan Carter a little bit in their post-race interview. He was out there being like, listen, I think I'm better at the 100, but this is when they put those words to actions and decide who is the strongest in the splash and dash. The 4 laps of the pool here, freestyle. Chalmers was the Olympic champion in the Rio 2016 Games in this event. Got close to doing that again. Was only beaten by the likes of Caleb Dressel just a little over a year ago at the last Olympics.
Always got to remember Chacon. He seems to be in contention every time he stands up. Chalmers was the only athlete under 47 seconds. Brooks Curry is one to watch as well. But don't forget about Dylan Carter. He's been so good in the World Cups. We're underway. Men's 100-meter free, 4 lengths of the pool.
Yeah, and this is kind of a middle ground for a lot of these freestylers. Some of them are 200 specialists coming down to the 100, which is kind of where Kyle Chalmers sits. He's more of a 100 and 200 guy. And then there's Dylan Carter, the 50, that's trying to make the most of the double the distance.
And it is Chalmers halfway through in 21:86. Canadian Josh Liendo sitting in 5th, trying to challenge way from the outside, but it is middle of the pool. It is Chalmers with less than a length to go.
And he looks great and confident in the middle there. Only 15 here we have.
Kyle Chalmers looking for a win here in Toronto, and boom, he's got it in 45:52, just off his own world record by about 3/4 of a second, but he is absolutely dominant.
Yeah, and that's great to see. He's about a half a second, or 0.3 of a second faster than he was last week. So we talk about the importance of this World Cup circuit for their training and racing, but it is incredible to see them improve week after week. Another familiar face to the podium as we see Brooks Curry. You mentioned he was the runner-up last night in the 50, and we'll also see Chacon who we've seen in the backstroke races. We've seen him in some sprint fly, free. It's great to see the versatility of a lot of these athletes when it comes to the World Cup stage, but a great performance there all around. And it looks like Dylan Carter wasn't quite able to hold on for all 4 laps of the freestyle, but he was in the mix at the 50.
Yeah, and he finishes in 4th, and Canadian Josh Liendo in 5th place. But it is Kyle Chalmers ruling the day. Look at that victory by about over 0.6 of a second. Chalmers, after a 3rd place finish last night, is on top in the 100. And don't forget, he's still got a 200 to go tomorrow. But he is number 1 in the 100 meters. So it is Chalmers, Chacon, and Curry.
We're standing by now with our top 3 in that men's 100 freestyle. What a race. Kyle Chalmers, your 6th win in a row in the men's 100 freestyle. We learned something interesting about you today. Apparently you have some Canadian family.
I wouldn't say family, but I remember doing a bit of looking in my family book, and my heritage is slightly Canadian, so I feel like I'm home.
While you're home, I hear you also taking a Raptors game earlier this week. How have you enjoyed your time in Toronto?
I'm loving it here. It's amazing to go to a Raptors game. I'm a huge NBA fan, so to watch a game live, obviously the Raptors have been one of the greatest teams over the last few years and have a great team at the moment, so watching them play live was awesome and inspired me to swim fast tonight.
Kyle, congratulations. Thomas Chacon from Italy, a personal best time here tonight in the 100 free. Got to be pretty happy with your performance and your first time in Canada.
Yeah, I'm super happy for this. And first time in Canada. I really like the pool, really amazing. And also, it's a pleasure to swim against Kyle, and I'm so happy for this.
Congratulations and welcome. We'll have you back anytime here in Toronto. Brooks Curry, congratulations, 3rd place tonight. You happy with that performance in the 100 free?
Absolutely, yeah, about 0.8 off the morning swim, so happy with that. Always happy to swim with these guys. Good time.
Well, congratulations to all of our 3 gentlemen here in the men's 100 freestyle. And we wish them best of luck in their remaining events here at the Swimming World Cup in Toronto.
Yeah, congratulations and hugs all the way around. Kyle Chalmers, the 24-year-old who has a pretty amazing reptile collection. Did you know that?
I didn't, but I love to hear about it.
Yeah, it was featured in that show a few years ago that followed him around, and 2 of the other swimmers, one of the Campbells, Kate, her sister.
Well, what do they do when he travels the world? For like, who's feeding the
Someone
reptiles?
else.
Okay, interesting. Do you know what kind of animals are in this reptile collection?
Oh, just imagine any kind of snakes and slippery things you can imagine.
I hope a few people don't have a snake fear on the line. We promise we won't show them.
Next event is the women's 100-meter breaststroke. The first athlete to be introduced, Ana Carolina Vieira, Olympian from Sao Paulo, Brazil, just turned 21.
Annie Laser.
Annie Laser, American breaststroker, more known for her talent over the 200 distance, but she came 4th last night in that event.
7, representing Canada, Sydney Pickram.
Sydney Pickram's had a really good meet so far. The 25-year-old was 2nd last night in the 200-meter breaststroke, and 2nd earlier tonight, if I'm not mistaken, as well.
Anastasia Gorbenko.
Gorbenko represented Israel in 5 different events at the Tokyo Olympics, so talk about versatility. She definitely has it. 2-time world short course champion.
Lithuania, Ruta Meliutite.
She shares the world record in this event as Ruta Meliutite, the 25-year-old who retired and has come out of retirement. Won the 200 breast last night.
Okay, a pretty cool fact here, but we have the last 3 consecutive Olympic champions in the 100 breaststroke, long course, however, but are all in this race. And the first one is the youngest of the 3 here at lane 3, Lydia Jacoby.
King.
There is Lily King, the Rio Olympic champion. You alluded to it in the 100 breast, and then won the 200 breast last night.
Representing Germany, Anna Elend.
And you can see the long horse on her chest. She's one of many University of Texas stars to make the trip up north for this meet. She's a 2020 Olympics semi-finalist. She looked incredibly strong from start to finish this morning in the preliminary. She's also the Texas school record holder in this event, short course yards, currently in her 3rd year. I think it's going to be a great race, honestly, to have all 3 of the last Olympic champions, that is Lydia Jacoby, Ruta Meliutite, and of course Lily King, all going neck and neck. It's fun to see, what can happen over 8 years of competition, now 10. And they're all still swimming and going to be in the same heat here tonight.
World-class field indeed for this women's 100-meter breaststroke. There's the youngest, Jacobi. There's the German swimmer, Anna Elent, who goes to school in the U.S. and Texas. Have the fastest qualifying time. This is anyone's race. Pickram is up there in 7. King is in, Miliutite is in 6. King's in 5. Ilit's in 4. Jacobi is in 3. Gorbenko and Laser.
And Miliutite having an amazing comeback career, as you mentioned. 1:03.0 is the time she actually posted a week ago at the Berlin World Cup, which is about a second, not even, over her world record time.
And right now, it is Miliutite battling with Lily King with half the race done. And Miliutite, 29.54 at the midway point. Now it is Lily King.
And the difference was made there on the turn entirely. Lily King getting in and out of the wall a little bit faster than Miliutite, and then she took over there on the final lap. Here to go.
Less than 25 to go. Miliutite just ahead of Lily King. What does King have in response? Here she comes, trying to challenge. Miliutite leading slightly. Lithuania and gets there ahead of Lily King in 1:02.95. King about a quarter of a second behind in second place, and then Elent, the fastest qualifier, finishes third in 1:04.07.
Yeah, it's incredible to see so many of these swimmers coming up from, either close to retirement or retirement and making their mark in a different area of their career. And that's such a special accomplishment for Ruta to be back on top of her world rankings, world standings, after kind of shocking the world in 2012 to get her spot on top of the podium, and then really kept up some momentum for a little bit, took her time away from the sport, and now here she is on top of the World Cup standing. That was such a close finish, and especially it was that second turn. You can see there Ruta had a bit more of a glide. Lily managed to time her turn a little bit better, but it was all Ruta on the swimming portion where she had her momentum throughout, and you see her stroke is a little bit different than what we're used to seeing in breaststroke, but it's very efficient. She moves well through the water. Nice surge into the wall there. Both of them timed their touch very well. 1:02.95 is a very fast time.
6/10 off the world record. Wow.
Your World Cup champion in the 100 breaststroke, Ruta Miliutite from Lithuania, 1:02.95. You must be happy being under 1:03 here tonight.
Yeah, for sure. I didn't expect, no, actually, maybe I did, but yeah, it's really nice. Go fast.
And back-to-back wins on the World Cup circuit in Berlin and now here in Toronto.
Sorry?
Back-to-back wins in Berlin and here in Toronto.
Yeah, I guess, I love racing breaststroke so much, and I think when you love something, you're good at it, so.
Congratulations, Ruta. Lily King, second place here in the 100 breaststroke. We're going to see you race at the next stop in your hometown of Indianapolis. That's going to be pretty special.
Oh yeah, I'm super excited. It's gonna be always fun to race in front of the hometown crowd, and I've been swimming at the Nats since I was about 9 years old, so always good to be back.
And it's such great racing here in Toronto. You must have a pretty fun time when you get to race against these other competitors.
Oh yeah, I've told Ruta so many times I love racing her. She's probably sick of me by now, but always fun to have a good race in that 100.
Congratulations, Lily. And Anna, third place here in the 100 breaststroke. Congratulations. Are you happy with that performance this evening?
Yeah, I'm absolutely happy with that. I haven't done long short course meters in a while, so I'm pretty happy with it.
Well, congratulations to all three here in the women's 100 breaststroke. Your top three, Ruta Miliutite, your World Cup champion.
Indeed, Miliutite, London Olympic champion, was very young then, coming out of retirement, and she says she loves it again. I think that's important.
Absolutely. That'll be kind of one of our key themes of the weekend, to hear more about how these athletes are just happy to be here competing and loving the process, and it's great to see that she's just having fun out here racing.
In the men's 200 butterfly.
Next event in the pool, men's 200-meter butterfly.
Representing Brazil.
And this has some big
Matthias
names as
Gonche.
well. There is Brazil's Matthias Gonche, the 25-year-old, gold in the 100 butterfly at the South American Games in Paraguay
Lane one,
just a couple weeks
Mexico, Jose Martinez.
And he was a finalist in this event at the 2021 Short Course World Championships. He competed in the Tokyo Games for Mexico, and he swims out of the Texas A&M Pro
Lane
Group.
7, representing South Africa, Chad Leclos.
Chad le Clos said after last night, I'm going to be competitive in Paris in 2024. Yeah, I know I'm 30, but trains in Frankfurt, Germany these days with Coach Dirk Lange.
Gamov, 23 years old from Czech Republic, 6th in the 400 free last night, so a little bit of versatility from the freestyle to the 200 fly here.
Lane 6, representing Italy, Alberto
Italy's
Rossetti.
Alberto Rossetti, the reigning short course world champion in this event.
Lane 3, representing Mexico, Hector Rubalcaba.
And Hector's teammates with Martinez out of lane 1, so he also trains with Sydney Pickram at the Texas A&M Pro Group. They've got a good squad there right now.
Wang Quan Hong, youngest in the field at 20 years of age, was second fastest in the heats. In fact, he won his heat in 1:53.6.
Julian.
And we've seen Trenton already here tonight. We talked about how, you know, you have to be versatile to some of these World Cups, but you also got to be tough. We've seen him in 200 IM. We'll now see him in the 200 fly, top seed from this morning. Strong USA national team member, competed at the Short Course World Championships. But other than that, still relatively new to this short course stage.
Chad le Clos, there he is, the 3-time Olympian with 4 Olympic medals, including 1 win over Michael Phelps that the world remembers very well. He won in Berlin last week in this event. He did win his heat, but he is in lane 7 here.
He likes to be sometimes on the outside of the pool. He likes to do things that people aren't expecting. Here in the middle, though, Trenton Julian, you can see his tattoo, California Golden Bears, swims out of California. He'll try to give him a run for his money.
So again, this is 8 lengths of the pool in the men's 200-meter butterfly. And we are underway. Watch up in lane 7 at the top of your screen. Chad le Clos, the 30-year-old South African. No one has won more World Cups than him.
And butterfly is probably one of the hardest strokes to time in and out of the wall when it comes to the difference between short course, long course, short course yard. So watch the swimmers kind of try to make sure their breathing patterns are on. And for Trenton Julian, that's one thing that he's probably tried to perfect over the weekend, to make sure he's coming in and out of those walls with good speed and good timing.
Trenton Julian had the fastest qualifying time, 1:53 low, and he is in the lead here, 38.24.
And it worked for Ledecky to get a warm-up with another race, but he looks very, very strong in the middle of the pool. The thing that a lot of things swimmers say about the 200 fly is it's going to hurt either way, so you might as well give it a go, because coming home, it's going to hurt.
Of course, this over the long course is the Christoph Milak event that he dominates, but right now, Trenton Julian is dominating the American, and he is in great shape with about a 2 body length lead.
Yeah, and you can see he's breathing pretty much every stroke. Took a peek over there to see if he has any contenders, but he's trying to get as much air in to make this final push in the 50.
So less than 50 meters to go. Chad le Clos has moved up into second place. Does he have a charge in him? Up there in lane number 7, it is Trenton Julian leading.
Yeah, here come the legs of Chad le Clos, but I think he waited a little bit too long here to try to catch Julian. Big underwater here for le Clos.
And he finally comes out and he is challenging. Chad le Clos is challenging Julian. Who's gonna get there? Julian will, I think, yes, just ahead. And then Wang Quan Hong comes in for 3rd, but a pretty good 1:49.69 time for Julian, and le Clos is less than 1/10 of a second back.
Yeah, and there's Trenton Julian getting rewarded for giving it his all on that first 100. You got to get out there, and he showed, you know, that's a strength. You got to dig deep. You got to be brave, though, in the 200 fly, because like I said, it's a daunting one. When I was younger, I had a huge fear of the 200 fly, because that is a long way to go in butterfly, and I'm sure a lot of you watching at home could agree. I think one of the great things about Chad le Clos is he has done this race so many times that he's confident in how he wants to pace it. He's definitely playing some games, I think, in that first 100, because he looked almost like he was hurting there, and then all of a sudden makes a huge push with a big underwater on that final 25.
There's the final few strokes for Julian. And he knows he's getting a challenge, I would think, although it came from the outside. But he holds on for the victory. There you see it, by less than 1/10 of a second over Leclos, Kwan Hung in third place. But Trenton Julian tops in Toronto ahead of Chad Leclos.
What a race in the men's 200 butterfly, our last event here on day number 2 in Toronto. Trenton Julian, the win here tonight and picking up 19.6 points in the FINA World Cup standings. Happy with that race?
Yeah, it was really good. It felt a lot better than I thought it would coming off the double, but just all about racing here, and that's what I try to do.
Could you see Chad coming on that final 25?
Oh, definitely. I was looking over my right just to make sure, and I saw him coming. I knew I just had to put my head down and try to beat him out.
Congratulations, Trenton. Chad Leclos, second place here. This is your 53rd second place finish on the World Cup circuit to go with 149 career wins. Did you mean to make it interesting on that last 50?
I had no idea what the tactic was going to be from Julian's side, but congrats for a phenomenal swim. That's a great time. Great time for me too. Of course, wanted to get the win. Disappointed, but we'll have a go next week in Indy, so I'm excited for that race.
Are you having fun in Toronto so far?
Oh, it's been fantastic. I've had such a great time here so far. The fans, everyone outside has been so welcoming. So a huge thank you to Toronto, thank you to Canada, and look forward to coming back in the future.
Congratulations, Trenton Julian, your winner here tonight in the men's 200 butterfly.
And there are your top 3. Trenton Julian just ahead of Chad Leclos. World class, make no mistake about it.
Yeah, when he said the tight number of World Cup medals, I mean, I don't even know if I've done that many races in my whole career, let alone on the World Cup stage. That is consistency, that is longevity, that is a career, and Chad Leclos is a perfect example of one of those athletes that we'll be talking about for a very, very long time.
And yet, he also said in the last couple of years he's had to deal with mental health issues, so it affects everyone, and that's why people need to do the right things whenever possible and help each other and help your teammates. What a great night, Brittany. Really was. And again, it starts with a bang with a world junior record, Summer McIntosh, then a world record in Katie Ledecky. Wow, what a night.
Oh, it puts some big shoes to fill for tomorrow night's start, especially to see what we can get going at the beginning. But yes, it was a near sold-out crowd here in Toronto, and they were not disappointed with the races they got to witness.
On behalf of Brittany McLean, my name is Rob Snook. Thanks for watching. More to come tomorrow. World Cup, Toronto 2022. FINA World Cup continues then. So long for now.